I had to bring the nerd shirt in.
There's only one shirt that matters. It's the Knicks.
I'm just wearing my usual pajamas.
I feel
Does
threatened.
the bat come with the pajamas too?
Baseball
Yeah,
bat.
I had to bring the Yankees bat, for the Bronx love. Even though I'm in DMV right now, representing as always DMV Charlottesville, Weezer County, VA, baby. You gonna do the intro? You gonna do the intro, or just like geek out, and then we're just gonna go?
Intros, Lingo podcast episode fucking 22.
Lingo.
Because we did 20 and then 21 the other day. 22. The Knicks are in fourth place for the first time in like forever. Like I don't know what to say. Knicks basketball is back.
I'm gonna let you get your shit off. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you get your shit off.
We're not winning a championship, but we have returned. We're back. Okay? We're going to make the playoffs. We're going to give somebody the business in the first round.
Tibbs might get coach of the year.
Might. Like,
if he doesn't run those boys into the ground. You got Julius Randle playing 35, 40 minutes a game. You got
this might be the team.
You got Barrett playing 35, 40 minutes a game. Like these are, I know they're young cats and they want to play and they want to prove something, but you want them for playoffs. So, and you want them to be able to like shock the world and like knock a 1, 2, 3 seed out, and be able to call themselves contenders. So like I love you, Dan, and I'm worried for you. Because I as
a friend,
what the formula is, man. It's like whatever can go wrong. But I love how happy you are right now, and it warms my heart to see the joy in your face because I know that you are also a Jets fan. So that's that. So I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy for you. I just hope Tibbs can keep this alive and just keep him through April, May, June, because that's when it counts. That's really when it counts.
That if the season ended today, the Knicks would be hosting a playoff game. We would be hosting the first round of the NBA playoffs.
It's a new day. We used to be at this point of the season, and we used to not even be talking about the Knicks because the Knicks wouldn't even be a factor.
Draft picks. I'm talking about playoffs. We play to win the game. All this bullshit.
You have a squad.
Well,
the thing is, you have a squad, and you have like veterans like D Rose that are like.
No, look, and we proved it against Indy the other night. If we can't outscore you, we will just beat you into submission. We will overpower you. We will make you back down, and then you will give us the points we need to score.
The offense is actually the more impressive part of this because when Tibbs was going to come in, that defense was going to improve. That he was going to make that a factor, a primary like focus in his new game plan. But the offense, they're scoring over 100 points a game, and I think that's really remarkable.
Rose was the turning point for this team.
Veteran leadership, you need that.
The answer. We have a guy that's out here that will teach, distribute, and he will defer the plays to the guys that need to get the touches. He understands who needs to get the experience right now.
I'm with you, bro. 100%.
He will take the shots that he needs to take, being who he is.
Yeah, and you need everybody has that role that they set for that squad. And you need a guy that's a volume shooter, that's not afraid to take the shot, that's just going to keep shooting with a short-term memory and just, as out there to prove themselves. And I'm happy for you, bro.
Is shooting 46% from 3. Like, come on.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen for us.
No.
And
it really doesn't.
And being a Knicks,
I have no idea what's going on, but I'm a Mets fan, so I understand the love.
So you understand that as a Knicks fan, I am waiting for the figurative other shoe to drop at this point.
Yeah, the trapdoor to fall.
Because with
underneath.
the Knicks, there comes hope, and then there comes reality. There comes hope, and then reality.
Yeah,
and we're at the point
there
right now.
comes insanity, and then there comes reality.
Exactly.
There comes Amari, and then there comes a fire extinguisher. So there's so many things
There comes
that
Carmelo,
happen.
and then there goes Carmelo. You know. So I've seen this before, and for as happy as I am right now, and I woke up today.
I'm real scared for your computer right now.
I woke up on a different level today. It was the first day I woke up in a long time where I was proud to wear these fucking colors.
Bro, you are beaming. You are beaming, and I'm so happy for you.
You sure it's not that light behind him?
I'm still waiting.
That's his heart right now. That's a metaphor for how Dan's heart is.
Exactly. And I'm waiting for us to suck again. And I'm just waiting for reality to set in. And
well,
tell me
no,
I'm
I
wrong.
mean it's
Tell me
it's
I'm
the,
wrong.
no, you have a lot to be like optimistic about. It is a start. Are they getting the Larry O'Brien? Hell to no, they ain't getting no Larry O'Brien this year. But they have things to build on, and they can see what they need to improve upon with this season. Well, they can shock some people. They can really move and shake some teams. Like you said, they could really come to the first round and be like, what?
You can
smack them in the mouth. They could smack the Pacers right in the mouth.
This could be the best Knicks offseason ever. Because now we're in a position where guys actually do want to come, possibly, and play for the Knicks and bring it
that's the thing. Now you see hope. Now people want to play for the Knicks. Now they look like a fun squad that people want to play for. And if Tibbs takes away that fun, Lord Jesus.
Exactly.
Back to where you started from.
Now we might
keep it fun.
This offseason.
Keep it new.
Somebody big does want to play for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a young, fun squad. And now it's not your granddaddy's Knicks, as some wacky morning show would say, but it's true.
It's not your grandfather's basketball team.
But it's not even mine. And that's the thing. We're talking about 20 years of torture, literal torture for the past 20 years.
I just want to chime in again. I'm a Mets fan.
But you guys made World Series, though. You guys
know what it is.
Seasons where there was hope in the past 20 years. But thank you, sir. But even the Mets have had their opportunities where they've made the World Series. There's been a chance where it's like, all right, maybe this is it. The Knicks, we've just literally been the backside of the heel, for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
There has been no hope for us.
Yeah.
And
now there is hope.
Now we're finally at the point, not even where there's hope. It's just talking about First Take, and we were talking about in the group chat and everything. And even Max said, this is new. This is new. This is not the same old Knicks. The Knicks aren't back. This is new. Saying the Knicks are back is saying,
right,
Knicks lost by 30 tonight, and we're looking at the 2 seed or in the draft, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is new, and this is what's got me excited is the fact that I can actually be like, there's something worth talking about here.
It really is.
Today was a big fucking mood this morning. That man smiled. I smiled right along with him because we're back finally. But anyways, how are you boys? Smoke my victory.
Not as good as you.
The Knicks are the 4 seed. Hey.
Beautiful times. No, I was saying I'm mad as fuck. I broke my selfie stick, so I got my clippers holding it up, my clipper case, because I'm ingenuitive, and the show will go on.
Clippers? Do you mean hair clippers?
Yeah. See,
yes, this is lit.
Ghetto, but hey, it's working, and we gonna make it work. Because I'm not gonna not do the show. And this is some bullshit too. Look at this cheap ass bullshit. Like the thing just like snapped right off. And I just pressed it down with the slightest touch. And it was like crunch. So that's a piece of shit.
How much did you actually spend on that? It should, if you tell me
$80.
Nah.
Fam, it actually has there's a battery that you can put in here, and it actually has a remote where you can like move it and shit, but I never use it. I just use it as a tripod.
$50.
So, yo, I needed something at the moment, and I was like, well, let me just pick this up real quick.
Someone ripped you off for $45. That's why
Best Buy ripped me the fuck off. That's what it was, but I couldn't find nothing cheaper, so it was what it was. So we are here. I need to upgrade my shit anyway.
Don't feel bad. I'm using my computer. I just have it laid up on the bed right now. That's all I do.
Well, I use my phone because my phone is like twice the high definition
Of your computer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my laptop's like 204. So
okay.
No. It's like 2010. It's like 2010, but it's still grainy. Not as good as this. So I use my phone for all my Zoom meetings.
Yeah, no. I'm on the MacBook Pro. I didn't want to leave.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
Really? I just need something to edit photos on. That's all.
I just need something to edit software and, do videos and like, show off in front of my friends. Hey, JJ Watt went to the Cardinals. And now Russell Wilson has more reason to get out of Seattle than ever. Because that motherfucker's going to be chasing him twice a year. And you don't want that smoke.
Is Arizona like an instant contender at this point?
Well, I was going to say, shout out to the front office of the Cards, because you get Kyler, you get this new suave Ryan Gosling coach, you get that reinvigorates like the whole thing, the air raid offense, you get Nutt, coming off the trade, and now you get JJ Watt, like that just falls in your lap, and you're like,
who in the Arizona front office has connections in Houston at this point? Like,
they must.
To get D-Hop and then, Watt obviously like falls into your lap. It's like,
yeah,
somebody's got to have some deep ties into Houston right now.
Yeah, something's going on.
Yeah,
something's going on. They always talk about collusion between players, but there's some collusion going on. But that happens with teams. I noticed, like, I noticed that Chicago gets a lot of like Giants leftovers and like things like that. I noticed.
What did you describe them as leftovers though?
I can name off the top of my head, but I noticed that like motherfuckers get traded to like similar places, and people act like they don't. They slick, but motherfuckers see.
I understand that within the NFL, like Green Bay guys going to Minnesota, Minnesota guys going to Green Bay, like certain things like that. I do understand. Jets, Giants guys kind of flip flopping. Back in the day, Niners, Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Certain logics I like, or locales I get. You know what I mean? Because it's
right.
A different player, he doesn't have to be with family. You know what I mean? But then again, like you said, certain teams where it's like Giant guys going to Chicago or this, or you know what I mean, or that. It has always seemed very weird how the NFL does. It is the fraternity of old white guys. So.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about how basically the NFL is made up of anti-union lawyers that control like the conversation between the within the union, between the players and the owners. So at the end of the day, the owners are always capitalizing because the lawyers are trying to coerce the players into getting the smallest amount or doing what's best, because the players don't know no better. They have representatives, they have their lawyers, but they're pro corporation and they're anti-union. So long story short, they don't have anybody really speaking for them. They may have a union per se, but the union is not there for the players. The union is there for the perception that the league cares about the players.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating to me. and sad and unfortunate. And it just shows
But,
like
I mean,
black bodies being shown.
at least it's nothing like WWE contracts.
Oh my God. Let's
Oh.
not, that's a whole nother podcast right there, bro. You just popped open a can of worms. Don't
But then, you know,
even get me on track.
about the NFL, and it's like, is this not? I don't know. It's the same thing as every other working class, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, we experience the same things at our job, Chris. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not the same per se, but the politics kind of roughly are the same of what we experience.
I hear what you're saying. Yes. Yeah, to a larger scale. Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know, we see, you know, about, you know, where it's, this job don't love you. You know what I mean? And, you know, I was saying,
Hell
this
to the no.
job don't love me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this job
Mhm.
expects, I think, a lot more out of me than I expect out of it. And I think that's
Right.
You know what I mean?
And what infuriates me, and I'm glad we're on this subject. What infuriates me about that kind of like bullshit, like, you know, blanket that they try to like put over your eyes and be like, oh, your company cares about you. I would rather that, you know, all these pamphlets where they have like, you know, where it looks like colleges, like this diverse group of people like laughing in the break room, and it's like, and they talk about all your benefits and stuff like, you know,
Professors teaching class outside.
just fucking be real, man. Just leave that shit at home. Don't put up any flyers. Just tell you, come to work, clock in, do this, or this will happen. But don't paint no fucking rosy picture as if everybody cares about each other and we're this loving family and shit. Nah, nigga. I signed a contract, which means I am here for a service.
Yeah.
I clock in, I do this for you, you give me money. The end. So let's stop having this conversation about how we friends and how we supposed to be hanging out and socializing. No, nigga, this is work. I come to work, I socialize at my social time. You as work are taking away from my social time. So don't expect me to be social.
Signing the contract, and I do find a lot more jobs today are holding you up to said contracts that you sign.
Word.
Especially today, in today's climate, with so many people needing jobs, and you know, just the job market being so competitive now where it's at now. A lot of companies are quick to hold you to said contract and say, look.
Yeah, they're real quick to be like, oh, this person's waiting.
Hours per week, you agreed to these terms, this and that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I'll say to any of our listeners out there, please, you know, when you take these jobs, be aware of what you're signing up for, and, you know, make sure.
Read your contracts.
And then also hold that contract. So if your job does try to pull you on some shit, you can say, here's that contract. It's not in my contract.
Exactly. No, you're right.
For big businesses, though, even small people, like, for example, myself, Dave, I know, you know, when you work on different projects, when they say, here, sign this is what you got to do, you know?
Yep.
When I have my models work with me, when we do photo shoots, they sign the release form, but that release form strictly says the rights to these photos are not yours. They're the rights to the photographer.
Exactly.
It's only giving you permission to give the photographer permission to take your photo. That's
and you have to recognize that and be willing that your art has become a commodity, that you are no longer in you know, in property of it. It's no longer yours.
I had a situation. Let's go deep dive into the photo guy origins.
Nah, talk about it.
Origin story.
No, not my origin story. It was tragic. There were alien people. No, but I remember there was one model I was working with. I'm gonna avoid names as much as possible, of course, for the respect of people that I work with. There's one model that I worked with, very nice, very cool. And I want to say about a month after we worked together, they had messaged me and said, oh, I was wondering if I could sell some of your photos as a print. And I told them, well, how many are you trying to sell and how much are you selling it for? So they were like, oh, I was probably going to print out like 100, sell them for like $10 a pop. So I did the math on that real quick, and I said, okay, so I'm gonna need $100 from you for permission to use my work that portrays you, so that way you can make money off of it.
Right.
All I'm giving you is permission to print out 100. If I see 101, we're gonna have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But you don't own the rights to the photo. That's why you're coming up to me and asking. You know?
Right.
But unfortunately, there are people out there that feel that just because you took their picture, that they're like entitled to the right to use that image for their profit.
It is an image. It is a photograph, which means it is not you. It is an image of you. It is a likeness of you. And I own the likeness of your image. So fall back, essentially, is what. And I learned that too. And I was like, but it's my face. And they were like, well, yeah, but no, it's actually not. It's not. I didn't take your face like fucking Nicolas Cage and like put it in my like shit. Like I took the likeness of your face and I filtered it, I shined it up, I maybe like, took your eyebrows down, took that little, took a little fat off your cheek. And I made you better. Actually, I made you better. You owe me money, actually, is what I'm saying. So I hear what you're saying, Chris. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, you're right. It's basically people don't understand what they're signing on to when they sign on to these things. So yeah, I get it. And Joe Budden's always talking about that. Like people be getting themselves in some real shit these days. So
yeah, we lost you there.
Trying to educate the kids.
You gotta let them know. A state of education where people aren't being taught this at a regular basis, like we were taught that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but like
I still know that
everybody knows the
and
mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's
ATP.
The one thing we walked away from in bio.
and that's all I got.
That's
adenosine triphosphate. That's all I got.
I got that. And,
the rest of that
when I was
spoiled right out during the summer.
When I was over at Dan's house, I remembered that there are 6 noble gases. That was as far as I got.
That's pretty impressive.
That was it.
What is it? Ionic, pessimistic, optimistic,
realistic.
I don't know. Noble, not so noble,
shady gases.
Shady gases.
Speaking of the noble gases,
that's the title of the podcast. Shady gases.
Project
Silent but deadly gases.
Couldn't be with us on this.
Why
of noble gases, I believe, at the moment. So.
Oh, okay. Word. I hear that. Shout out to
noble gases.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It's Monday. Good time to get it. The weekends will be busy.
That's a good way to start your week.
No, I mean you gotta time it right. Sometimes I'll be doing that. I'll be trying to like cop on the weekends and girls will be like, yo, I'm doing this, that, and the third. And I'm like, why didn't I just try it? Like, just cop on a Tuesday, like when nobody got shit to do.
I think
get it on a random Wednesday.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the time, you go
9:30 in the morning when normal people got work.
Yeah, why you fucking up somebody's date night because he's trying to get right?
Like 9:30.
Like, bro, it's 8:00 right now. I'm putting my kids to bed. Yeah, I know. Can you just
bring them a bedtime story? Get the hell out of my face. I'm over here telling them the story about how I met their mother. What you doing right now?
I know. People are trifling.
New York, listen to me talk.
What else happened?
I mean, look. So
what you got, Chris? You're
not here, so we can't keep it.
Well, I know in movie news, I know we got Mortal Kombat. I know we got Mortal Kombat coming out soon. HBO Max.
But Mortal Kombat, that's what, April 20th, I think. Like 420, I think it comes out.
Yeah. Let me double check on that for you.
Possibly so, though.
It might be the week before, but I think it's April 15th actually, or something like that. But people are hyped.
Perfect timing, though.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better.
Release date, I got it for April 16th.
16. Yep.
HBO
So
Max.
what do you think about the
theaters, right? HBO Max and theaters simultaneously, I think.
I got HBO Max, so I'm hyped.
I'm hyped.
Let's go.
I'm hyped.
I actually I was like, Mortal Kombat reboot. All right, I hear reboots every day, blah blah blah, because that's what Hollywood is now. It's just one big reboot. What they're gonna reboot next? What out of my childhood are they going to take?
But you know what?
And just
this is one reboot
apart.
I think I might actually be all right with.
Exactly. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh shit.
I mean,
so like right off the bat,
you could say Mortal Kombat. You could say Mortal Kombat in general had like a whole like structural reboot maybe 10, 12 years ago as it is. Where like Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat and it kind of fell into obscurity where it was like, yeah, Mortal Kombat. But then when Mortal Kombat 9, if you're a fan, came out, it kind of like rebirthed it. Then we got, Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11.
That was essentially a soft reboot for the game, yeah.
No, yeah, the franchise.
And we're losing them.
You know what I mean? Just everything. You know what I mean? And it really like brought it back. We had the YouTube show. I don't know if you guys remember the little YouTube series that was going on.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat
Legacy?
What was it called? Mortal Kombat something.
Legacy? I think Legacy or something like that.
I think
Michael J. White was in it as Jack.
I don't remember. I've seen multiple like.
Let me double check on that one.
No, Dave,
fiction,
that was actually integral Dave.
YouTube joints, and they're all like pretty dope. Yeah, you showed me a couple.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy. Yeah, like I said, Michael J. White was in it, and
there you go.
A lot of us thought that was going to be like,
and
then it kind of never came to be.
Yeah,
this has been getting kicked around. So for them to finally show the trailer, and it's like, they talk Mortal Kombat movie for years now, but to finally see it and then to see what it was, and with the advances.
And we are losing you rough, bro. What are you on, AOL right now, my brother?
Yes, I am. It must be. This shit is choppy. All right, is that better?
That's the old Mortal Kombat games. What's going on here?
What I wanted to say is that we usually have like, all right, so all of these bum-ass video game movies that we have, like Street Fighter and Super Mario Brothers and all this bullshit that we're just like, yo, this is trash. Mortal Kombat was actually the one video game movie that was actually better than expected and average to good.
It was
in terms of representation of the video game and like
it was like a middle ground. It wasn't as good as it could be, but it definitely wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Right on. Even the song was dope. We was jamming to that.
Oh yeah, that definitely was.
Oh man, and they actually remade the song. But I wasn't expecting them to A, remake it, and B, for it to be so damn good. So, anytime I want to remake Super Mario Brothers,
let's not touch.
My guess.
You see, and what's funny about that is that in the last pod when we started talking video games, we talked about gameplay versus story. I think it's a lot easier to make a better video game movie when they have a story and if they follow it, because Final Fantasy Spirits Within had no reason being a Final Fantasy movie.
No, I think that was just a CGI porn.
It was a really good sci-fi movie.
And they wanted to show off what they could do with computer effects. And I think, but it does not hold up. Like if you watch it now, you're just like, holy God, it looks like a PS2 game.
Throwing the name Final Fantasy onto it though was what kind of killed the movie. because it just came off the heels of Final Fantasy VII, which everybody was just like, oh my God, this game is amazing. The story is awesome. So when you add Final Fantasy Spirits Within, you expect that kind of gravitas with that name, Final Fantasy, because of what they just came out with. So when you see a somewhat okay sci-fi movie come out of it instead, and very little references to Final Fantasy as a whole, you kind of look at it as like, okay, Spirits Within, I guess I get that part of the name, but where does the Final Fantasy part come in? You know? Besides the fact that you had like a little almost see-through design of a chocobo. There was a guy named Sid, like, and that was about it. You know, so like with video game like that, with Mortal Kombat, because they've always been not only just a brutal fighting game, but they always try to add some story, some kind of lore to the back. It's easier to kind of adapt it into a workable movie. Where let's say
now, since the video game has added so much lore and so much backstory and so much, Dan, that's where you come in. I want to know how canon it is to like everything you find in the crypt.
No, it's not. And I mean, it's not canon at all, as far as we can tell. I mean, based off of the trailer, honestly, always saw it's a bunch of scenes chopped together. You know what I mean? The movie could be shit, for all we know. And the effects are dope. And that's it. But canonically, this movie is not canon. And I was going to say Mortal Kombat is the best fighting franchise at having an actual canon and storyline and something, continuity.
Yeah, it jumped Street Fighter years ago. It's top of the line, hands down.
Mode
there's no question.
I think what really kind of helped them sell that idea that Warner Brothers, at least, or NetherRealm Studios, the people who make the games, kind of helped push it along, was that they were also in charge of the Injustice games. And how great of a story the Injustice comic books have now been in the DC franchise, with this idea, you know, Superman goes full evil, you know, doesn't hold back anymore. And now you have a whole separate scene.
Well, sorry, not to cut you off. I was just going to say, I think the best thing about Mortal Kombat is the fact that it's the original guys from day one, still handling it. It's still crafting it. It's still continuing the story.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what makes it really like how great it is. It's because it's still their baby. And like they're still growing it and teaching it. And you know what I mean? There's learning with it. And
what was awesome is that
like Injustice.
The original Mortal Kombat was 4 guys.
Was that
the original Mortal Kombat was 4 guys. That was it.
And we still have what?
8.
Two of the original.
8? You sure?
Scorpion, Sub-Zero.
No.
Luke
in terms of the people who made the game.
But it's the bias always.
Boone and Tobias.
Oh yeah.
It was him. It was Ed Boon, John Tobias, and I think there was 2 sound directors.
Yeah, there was 2. Yeah. That sounds about right. Who's the toasty guy? Who's the guy that comes in and goes, toasty?
Jeez.
Look it up.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that the other day. Who's the
Dan Forden. Yeah, he'd come out the side. Toasty.
Icon in the living.
Actually, he was one of the original sound programmers. Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And that was the one thing. And I said to Dave, watching that Mortal Kombat trailer, and I said, the one issue I had was at the end of the trailer when Scorpion goes to do the spear and he says, "Get over here." It sounded very forced, and they should have just had Ed Boon fucking dub it over, just the classic, you know, "Get over here," you know. Even as out of
one of the things that
probably would have seen, I think any fan would have accepted it.
I mean, I think
he does it once. I think because you can only do it once.
I think even with the trailer, we got a little nitpicky because everybody was tripping about Melina too,
Yeah.
and her lack of teeth.
I
I was like, well, maybe she grows the teeth out or does something. Like, niggas need to use their imagination, man. I don't know
look,
why people
I want to
are
throw it
like,
out there just because
but it's not the way it looks. And
I'm a super Mortal Kombat nerd, so I will throw out there that in that trailer we also saw like traces of Reptile, Noob Saibot, Smoke, Shao Kahn, Goro, tons of other characters were teased.
mad Easter eggs, bro.
But now, so we were talking when we were looking at the trailer together, Dan. We already noticed one big difference in lore with the reason why Jax has his metal arms now is that apparently he lost them in a fight with Sub-Zero.
Yeah, but I mean,
Now that sounds like the worst poker game in my life. If you're gonna lose your arm.
yeah, I mean, but
But
there always has to be a reason why Jax has the metal arms. So I feel like that is something at least that is very universally interchangeable. As long as
his whole thing was that
it makes sense. He froze his arms, he broke them off. All right.
So now-
Doesn't he lose them to Shang Tsung in the game?
In the game, it's Goro that rips them off. Or no, Kentaro.
yeah. But now, so if we are under the idea that we might get that Noob Saibot, we saw that, Noob Saibot's possibly coming in. Do we get the same Noob Saibot that was, previously Sub-Zero, who went to another realm, ended up getting corrupted?
Is that Bihan or is that, Kuai Ling or,
Well, what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at the IMDb right now, and it says that the guy playing Sub-Zero is Bihan.
So then maybe at some point in the movie he does become Sub-Zero, which means that, or Noob Saibot, which means Scorpion kills him during the movie. Because that's the whole precursor into Bihan Sub-Zero becoming spoilers. But yeah, so like I said,
Not really spoilers. I mean, we're talking lore like it might actually happen in this movie.
The movie is they're gonna cover, I think, a lot of canon, but not with the sake of continuity to it. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be a lot of we're gonna do a lot of fan service, but we're gonna make sure it kind of makes sense for the most part, the way we deliver it.
That's interesting. That's
kind of what Marvel does.
So
Marvel does a lot of fan service constantly, where it makes sense, but it really doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of everything. Like, it doesn't pan out the same way it does in the comic books, but it's like, oh, that happened in the comic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Venom was a fan service movie.
You know what I mean?
Punisher was a fan service movie.
Yeah.
Low budgets, really safe.
So
very social media followed.
Let me get your opinion
A lot
on
of
this.
because of the social media following, and
we got less than a minute. 1 minute.
Because you guys, again.
Yeah.
I got no Dan.
Dan, you with us?
I'm here.
Why are we down by 20?
All right. So
it was all good. Just leaving out.
So I'm looking a little further into the IMDb, and I've noticed
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Well, one casting.
1 minute.
So I've noticed